What were you
Also Floyd.
referencing? Floyd Fest?
Well, they played Dogtown,
Okay.
and I just fell in love with the town. Coop and I actually, on the way up from our friend's wedding, who is down in Asheville, stopped in Floyd because we wanted to. And we went to Dogtown to eat, and this guy was there with an owl, so that was cool. I hung out with Luna the owl, and like that's why I love Floyd.
It's because Luna the Owl.
Yeah, like that can happen now, you know? When was the
So,
last time you ran into a dude with an owl?
Let's take a spin.
hey, ladies and gents, and welcome back to Let's Take a Spin. I'm your host, Rob Tait. We have a wonderful show for you today. We have a great friend of the pod, Maggie Mae. Now, Maggie and I have known each other for years. I played drums for her for a long time, and in fact, she even invited me to perform or play drums on her record, Welcome to the Party, which comes out, over the course of the next 6 or 7 months, maybe a year. And the first track just dropped called Ghost. We're super proud of it. And I wanted to bring Maggie on the pod and talk about the record and all the other stuff. And it's just great. Make sure to stick around for that. But real fast, I got a couple shows. On November the 22nd, I'll be in New Hope at Dharma Bums with my band. And we have a few subs this time. We have a few new friends hopping in with us, so make sure to come to that show. And we'll be with Elephant, the band. And the big one, Chile after New Year's Eve, is right around the corner. And I know that the day that this episode comes out, it's election day. So we have a lot on the mind. But if you want to alleviate some of that, grab your tickets to New Year's Eve, have something to look forward to. That's right, I'm plugging my own show. Shouldn't we all? But yeah, that's going to have Emmett Druding on the Chile after New Year's Eve, and Sophie Korn, who also came out with a song called Ghost the same day as Maggie's song, Ghost. Go figure. It was not planned, it was not premeditated, but go check out all their music, and we're super excited about that. The tickets for both Dharma Bums in New Hope and Chile after New Year's Eve in Manayunk are in the show notes, and we're super excited about those and can't wait for that show to happen. And also, I want to thank you guys for being here to watch this show. It's growing every week, and I'm so honored that you're here, and we're going to have more and more guests as the year comes to a close. Speaking of which, Sophie Korn and Emmett Druding will be on the pod, hopefully soon, but that'll be, over the next few weeks. But, yeah, this is Maggie Mae, and we're talking about her new track, Ghost. Enjoy the show. Is this your first pod?
No, and first one in a while. First one in like over 4 years, probably.
But how are you, Maggie?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Long day.
Same.
What have you been up to?
Well, let's see. This past weekend, I had a gig at Trouble's End Brewing,
Uh-huh.
and then I saw the Funky Tea at That Lady, and then I did a whole lot of nothing.
How was Trouble's End? I love it over there.
That was awesome. I really love their stage.
Yeah, it's really pretty wide, and they got all the lights and stuff.
Yeah, I love all the decor. Definitely an interesting gig for me because I don't do a lot of the restaurant gigs where people are also just there to eat dinner. So that was a new vibe to work with.
I'm sorry. Well, hold on. So, I know that it was you, Seth Aaron, and John Gilbride. So how did you guys do it? Was everybody on stage at the same time? Were you doing a songwriters in the round, or was it just everybody had a little slot?
I wish we were on stage at the same time. Everyone had their own little slot. I went first, and then Johnny went.
Okay, cool. Why did you do it like that? Just because?
What came naturally. I also wanted to try to get back to see Funky Tea, which then John was able to get back for the last couple songs anyway. But
yeah. When the Funky Tea was on stage, I was doing sound, so I saw you walk in, but I just couldn't say hi in the moment. But at the point this podcast comes out, your new single will have been out. Yay! So Ghost is out. Everyone go stream Ghost by Maggie Mae on all streaming services and everything else. Are you going to put it out on a Bandcamp and everything else? So go on Bandcamp and give Maggie some of your bread, so you can listen to Ghost whenever you want to. That's so good. But what some people may not know that are listening to the pod is that you and I used to play together a lot. I used to play drums a lot in your band. In fact, we did the record together, the drums for this record, back in what?
On the record.
2022?
That sounds right.
I think so.
Your memory is better than mine.
Well, don't quote me on that. No. So So yeah, we got together and we went to what was the studio called?
We went to Headroom, Robbie Webb.
And yeah, we went there for the first. We went there. We did what? God, I think we tied my record of 7 songs in a day. I think we did 7 basic tracks.
Yeah, that sounds right. I think we did the whole. I'm having a trouble remembering the timeline, but I think we did the whole album, and then I later added 3 more songs.
We
So
did
then we
because we
can
went
add
back in
Yeah. Okay.
because we did
We did all those in a day.
yeah we because how many songs are there total on this
10
new
now.
batch?
The album's 10. One of them I'm solo ukulele though, so you guys didn't do that one. So we did 9.
Cool. It's still amazing. I'm proud of what we did, but that band was great, and I didn't get to see everybody else's stuff, so I still don't know what the record sounds like. I have no idea, and I told your partner, who is Coop of Koopaloop, who's on my record, I said I don't want to hear it. I want to hear it when it comes out because I want to hear the whole.
I wouldn't have played it for you. I want it to be a surprise.
Oh no, Coop was like, he said like, do you want to hear it? No, I don't want to hear it. I want to be exactly. I like a good surprise, especially because I was the drummers are the first thing on a recording, and then we vanish because I don't hear anything else. Like Robbie, who is your producer for this record, is a drummer, so it was also in good hands. I had no qualms. So, and Robbie's a great producer. And what was your experience like working with him?
Great. He's just really good at knowing when to stop, knowing when we've gotten a good take, which I would otherwise just go on forever. He's got a really good ear for harmonies, especially making sure everything within the track is cohesive. A lot of the delay in the album was like scheduling with Robbie, and it was good because we were able to kind of like, we would both have these weird hours at the same time, and then we'd both have like more open hours at the same time. So there was a pretty long stretch where we were getting together 3 days a week for like months at a time. So definitely he had a drive to get the album done after so many years, which would help me get the album done.
Well, I mean, like life happens, right? Like, man, you had some of these songs for a while, and not calling anybody out for it. It's just time. You never know when you're gonna have the right time to do something, right? I could see you're kind of reliving it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this album is so much. It's like none of these songs are by any means new. So they've been on the docket for over a decade at this point. So there was just that energy of like, I really just want this done. But it's funny, Ghost was actually a lot of the holdup. Because it's the most challenging song for me vocally. And I spent probably a good year at some point within the process, just like getting vocal lessons from a few different people and trying to figure out how I wanted to sing that song. And I ended up learning a lot, and my voice got better because of it, because of this damn song. I'm happy that I went through that, but Ghost held the whole album up for so long, and I'm so happy it's the first one out.
Well, yeah, so you can be done with it. Yeah,
Done
out the
with it,
door.
yeah.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, well, you can be emotional if you'd like to, because I know that it was. What was it that was so revealing in vocal lessons for this song?
It's very all over the place. Like, it's kind of all over the spectrum of my range, and a lot of it, I wasn't really sure how I wanted to deliver it. It was just one of those songs that kind of, when whatever came out, but I wasn't really in love with that being what was on the album. And I saw a couple different people. I had lessons with Taylor Kelly, and I had lessons with Gabrielle Chapman. And at some point, a long time ago, I had lessons with Elizabeth
Radaganda.
Ganda. Yeah, thank you. And they all had very different approaches to singing. So I think that was good for me because I had kind of like all of their input, all of their feedback, and made it my own. Because my voice is also very different from all of their voices. But I really, between learning how to figure out Ghost, how I wanted to deliver it, learning how to breathe properly, I never learned how to sing properly. I never like took a singing class. I was in choir growing up, but I just always kind of could carry a tune, and I never knew like I could even develop my voice anymore. It's just like, this is what I'm born with. That's it. So really learned that I did not know how to breathe properly. I was really straining, and it was starting to hurt in my throat. So between Ghost and also that gig I had at Ardmore, singing Aretha Franklin, I forget when that was, maybe February of last year or this year. I learned how to belt more properly. I don't know if I'm not like by any means an expert, but yeah, just more technique, proper breathing techniques, taking care of my throat. I started like warming up before I sing, which is like huge.
What do you do
So
for
all of it.
what do you do for warm up?
So I have two warm-ups that I like always make sure that I do before every gig. Sometimes I'll do a couple more. But the one, let me pull it up, like this Australian guy.
Mm-hmm.
I love any warm-up with a good beat. That's not just like a steady beat. Um, the Aussie vocal coach. Take that
It
out.
started playing. Here comes the copyright strike.
Um, political ads. Can't
Oh,
avoid.
okay.
The Aussie vocal coach. I do an alto vocal warm up, and then my absolute favorite person on YouTube is Cheryl Porter, who's a singing coach, and she has all these vocal workouts.
Is she the older African American woman that
Yeah,
teaches
she's
young
like an
singers?
opera
Yeah,
singer.
yeah, she's great.
I love her so much. Yeah.
And she's got a
So
really
I
good
always
personality. Makes it really fun too, right?
exactly, and everything's like to a fun beat. It's not just like you're sitting in piano class and you're just playing the scales.
Yeah.
Fun to do.
Yeah, because after a while, this like the vocal warm ups can get mundane. You really have to kind of keep it interesting. And my wife really loves harping on me about that. Like, have you warmed up this week? And I'll be like, no. But we'll do some. She'll sometimes run it through with me, and we'll do some fun stuff. So I'm sure you have a lot of stories like that. What did you learn about breathing that was so different?
Just like I promise you, I'm still not doing it 100% correctly, but
We're all
just like
learning.
engaging my diaphragm. I definitely like tend to sing from here and breathe from here naturally. So, excuse me, all these bubbles from the LaCroix. I think just taking deeper breaths, quickly, and I think just generally like learning placement. I can very naturally be like pretty lazy in my throat. Like I learned how to lift my soft palate. I never knew how to do that before. Really just helps carry the breath a lot better.
But yeah, like
All the
learning how to
little
like.
things, and I noticed when I stop doing those warm ups all the time, it goes away.
Mm-hmm. I know, goddamn muscle, right? But here's what's amazing is we recorded these tracks 2 years ago, and you had these songs for 10. What have you seen differently in like your songwriting process? Because it's had to have changed, right? So it probably took you a lot longer to make these songs, but do you have like a better way to write songs or come up with ideas?
I don't know if I have a better way.
Or have you
I
learned
def
a more efficient way to write?
I definitely, I think something that really shifted between everything that's on this album, Welcome to the Party, and what I've been writing since, less words. I do not need to say as many words as I say, like say more with less. So I've also been kind of shifting gears into a style that I've always wanted to do more of.
Like what?
I just really love, for me, like going to a show sometimes, like, okay, there are very certain artists where this does not apply, like Martin Sexton, for example. But if I can't dance or be very drawn in by like the emotion, I gotta have one of the two things going on. I can feel very anxious. So I've wanted to shift more into like dancier music. And that's always kind of what I wanted, but wasn't really finding with what came out with these songs. They're definitely more like the singer-songwriter side of me, who grew up on Martin Sexton and people like that. So getting into dancier styles, singing more with less, and Coop and I also, before I even bring anything to the band, will record a whole demo. So what's in my head, I know is communicated to everybody in the band. Because I don't know, you've talked to me. I have weird ways of saying things that feel like
No, I don't think
trying to
so.
explain what I'm hearing in my head.
Well, no, like what will be an example of you bringing something? Like, is there a new demo that you and Coop work together? You're like, well, here's what I hear.
Yeah. What's in it? Like, what's a song?
Well, not like what's a song. It's like you said you have a weird way of explaining things, right? So what would an example of that be? Like, what's a weird way you would explain a new tune to Coop?
Oh,
Is it more of a visual storyboard thing, or is it more of like a color, something specific?
more of like, all right, I want it to sound like an Emily King song, and I'll kind of have like examples, especially for the drums though, because like for me, that can really change up the vibe. And if I don't explain what I'm hearing correctly. And if I don't have a way to explain what I'm hearing correctly, it can take a little bit to find what I want. And also, like, if you start playing something and I like it, I'll be like, "Ooh, I like that too," but then I'm getting away from what I wanted it to be, you know? So that's kind of the approach that I've always taken. Now I can just do the demo and give exactly what I want. But I don't know, like, I can't think of a good example of explaining something
Well, here, while you
so.
think of it, I wanted to share that, like I said, I play the drums on your record, and a lot of the record was like preconceived already. Like a lot of the songs were done in the sense of the arrangements were done. The drum parts were pretty much, the idea was already there between the 1,000 drummers you had before. And we kind of had like a pick and choose situation. We like this guy's idea on this, we like this way on another song. And I think I had one or two songs I actually got to kind of direct how I felt the drums should be. And me and Robbie would talk about the collaboration of what the drum parts actually should be. And that was a lot of fun too. And I'm sure that you enjoyed that experience. You get the two drummers price of one. Well, you paid for Robbie too. But in that way, it's kind of nice, right? And then you kind
Yeah,
of get options.
that was also fun to just really solidify the drum parts, after playing them so differently for so long.
Right. And to actually have like, this is it. It's going on the
Before you
wax.
found,
We're
yeah,
done. I know a few bands that are like that. Like they have new tunes, like, and somebody will sub and it's like, oh, well, I might like that more. And then then you're kind of choosing what the best parts are. Excuse me. Because I know that, Coop is your partner. He's your bass player as well. And Jack Shouty, who's the guitarist for Darlington, and a few other folks, Miss Cantaloupe and things like that, is also your guitar player. So, but every now and again you get a sub and you might like what the sub does more than what the original part is. And then you have to make a decision like, as a band leader, what do I prefer more? Do you find yourself in that position a lot?
especially after playing with Luke Baritone, man.
Mm-hmm. Luke will do that.
Always,
Luke
yeah.
doesn't know he does it, but Luke unintentionally changes the chemistry of a group.
Mhm. I don't know. He's got really good taste.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's done very tastefully. So I'll be like, ooh, I don't really like that chord, Jack. You gotta play that chord.
Well,
You know
I
what
know
I
you're a
mean?
big Tedeschi Trucks fan, and he can go that way to Derek Trucks land,
Mhm.
and it's really easy to be roped into that, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But also not necessarily the sound that I always want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's easy. Like I'm saying, like it's easy to be drifted into. Oh, that sounds good too. And then you're
Mhm.
having like the push and pull of what do I want, which I'm sure has been difficult because you've had these songs for 10 years. You're like, oh, I still don't know what I want, and you keep getting different ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And they're played differently with every lineup, that joins me. And Josh doesn't play them the same as they are on the album. He barely listens to the album. So it's always, I think that's kind of fun though. The songs to kind of keep living.
Do you Is that intentional to let your players kind of have free reign of what they feel the song needs?
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny to be in this place because I've done that for so long. And I've done that with these songs on the album for so long. And then with this new batch of songs, I'm doing everything in such a different way that it's kind of every set is kind of a mix of the two. Like,
Mm-hmm.
these new ones, this is how it's done. There's also new songs where I'm not sure they're fully done. I'm not sure that I found like the right vibe for them. So I'm sure those will keep evolving over time. Yeah, so like for certain things when like I just want to play them, but I don't know that I've really found the vibe yet. I don't know that I've really like fallen in love with the permanent arrangement. Those will kind of tend to evolve. And then other songs I'm like headstrong about how they should sound, how they should.
And then how do you handle the creative differences with your band? Because I know that you do have so many subs every now and again, because when you do play out, everybody in your group plays in different things, right? So how do you handle the creative differences or the direction as a band leader?
I'm always very open to hearing what anyone thinks. And to me, it's like if my gut reaction is like no, like I'll just say no.
Do you feel
Uh,
comfortable doing that?
yeah. I mean, Jack, I'm no longer than Coop. Jack's one of my best buds, and he's seen all sides of me at this. So I'll be honest with him. Also, like on that same note, I feel like we all kind of have a good understanding of each other, like you included. We all have a good communication style. We all have good ears. It's not hard for me to like get what I want out of the band or get what I want out of the song. there aren't a lot of creative differences, I feel. But yeah, like I always want to hear what everyone thinks. I want to hear if Jack does something that I didn't really plan or in the demo or whatever, and it spikes, what do you say? Spikes my ear, spikes my
Mhm.
interest. I'm always down to like see how that goes. Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to ask the guys. I'm good at it, but
No, I want to ask you. You're here.
I'm good at it.
Oh my God. What's your favorite show you've had so far? Because like you've been around for a while. This is your first like full record release. What's the first show that you're like, that was exactly what I wanted up till now?
I think one of the best shows that I've played and had just like such a good time top to bottom was when we played downstairs at World Cafe Live,
Hmm.
like after my finger surgery, and there was a whole lot of like, oh, I can just now start playing and all this like energy, and we had all practiced a lot because the show was really important, so I had a few more rehearsals than I normally do. So that was a really, really great gig. I also think one of the most fun ones this year was when I played Harmonic Hope and Healing.
I don't know what that is.
So that was in, I want to say May. Candace from Wallflower Observer put it on with, let's say 314, but we did just do Jam on the Graph. You should take this out in case I'm wrong. No, Candace put it on. And that was one of the first gigs where I played some of the new songs, the dancier songs. So that was just a lot of fun in that this like kind of newer side of my music came out finally, and newer side of my performing, I guess. I got a lot of like, you clearly don't give a fuck anymore. I'm like, I guess not. Like I just have music now where I can run around the stage, I can jump around, I can get a little
What do you
silly.
mean? Somebody said like you look like you're free. You don't give a fuck
Yeah,
anymore.
like you look like you just don't give a shit anymore. Oh, Ivan. I'm like, I think he just means like, yeah, my performance was just like less constrained, less I don't know. You'd have to ask him, but I tend to feel very trapped by the mic.
Hmm.
Sometimes I wish I didn't play guitar so I could walk around the stage a bit more.
Well, you can put it down. Let Jack do it.
Too stubborn.
Oh, there
If I
you go.
write a
That's on
I
you.
know, if I write a part, I want to play.
Well,
But
maybe one
so
day
yeah.
you should experiment with getting another guitar player. Just be like, you take these,
I've
and
thought about it. Yeah. Or a keyboard player, I would love to like take over some of that.
Mhm.
But so with a lot of these newer songs, I've been keeping that in mind, I guess, kind of subconsciously, of like, oh, this would be a really cool song to just run around and jump off things, whatever. So I think with the music, the performance is also evolving, and therefore the shows are becoming a little bit different, a little bit more high energy.
No, I get that. And with this new batch of tunes, people can actually go check out your music online now. Because I know that you put out Hometown back in 2023, right? Or
Mhm.
22? I can't
That
remember.
was 2020 or 2021.
Wow. Well, you know
Like,
what's funny? I was thinking about that, and your whole band has changed for that since then. Like that's the only track I'm not on. Is that also considered in this batch? Is that part of this batch of tunes?
I think I'm just gonna keep it a single. I thought about it, but at this point, like my voice has changed
Mhm.
since we've recorded that. It's been out as a single for so long, and also just it would have to be remastered.
Mhm. And I know
Uh,
that you took down your other stuff that was up just because the new
sure
versions are
did.
coming out.
Those songs were recorded when I was like 20 years old, and I
Mhm.
had like bronchitis the week before.
What is it with these vocal sessions that everyone's like sick, right? So my record, when I did it at a retro for At the End of the World, the first vocal session I was just done. I was a mess for 2 days. We did all the vocals, none of the background harmonies and stuff, but like we kept like 90% of these vocals, but most of it I was also not 100%. And they said, look, if you give up the day, you're still paying for it.
Uh,
So we had
oh
to
no.
a lot of those vocals I was not 100%. So the next batch of tunes, I'm going to be taking a lot of drugs, making sure that I'm vocally and chest wise healthy. So I'm sure you
Yeah.
resonate with that.
How do you feel about the recordings now?
I feel fine. They were edited and mixed really well. So you can't really
Sure.
tell. But there's a couple points in some of the ballads where you go, hey, probably could have done better. And even I'm like, yeah, but it is what it is, you know?
Yeah. I'm already doing that.
Yeah, you have to, or else you're going to be beating yourself up for this one record. Nothing's perfect. In fact, the imperfections make the thing perfect. So you got to let it go, right?
Yeah. I will say, like, those old recordings that I took down, I think I was like trying to enter a contest at the time. So there was like a deadline, so I had to do it. And I was very much the opposite with the album. It's like, this can take as long as it needs to. I'm not going to set any deadlines. Like, I want this to be as perfect as it can be. Because, I mean, a first album would be, these songs have been around for so long, they're so special to me. I really wanted them to be like, this is the song, this is what I'm comfortable with living with forever and like listening to over and over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah, I really, again, that's where Robbie's specialty of knowing when to came in, because I could have just gone forever.
And I know it's never going to be perfect. Never, ever, ever, ever. And we all know that now. Not knocking either one of us, but sure, even Mariah and all those guys, even though they're gosh darn good singers, there's probably problems on those records. In fact, if you really want a glimpse into the craziness, there's a website, and I cannot remember it off the top of my head, but they have the stems of all these famous recordings up, and you can listen to each track of these recordings. So like you can hear the drums, you can hear the bass, you can hear the vocals, you can hear all the background harmonies, and like some of them are great and pristine, but most of your favorite recordings are like totally messed up, and they don't make any sense. But it's the joining of all the parts, right? And you never know what you're gonna have until after it's done. Then you're like, oh, this sounds great in context. But that is what it is, you know. So Ghost comes out on October the 30th. Is that right? Wednesday. Well, we're recording on October 28th. This comes out on November the 5th. And that's why I was saying, so it's okay. But what I was going to say was, so that track is going to be out at the point this recording comes out. So hopefully it's got, thousands of streams. But what's next for you? I know you have a whole batch of tunes. Are you going to release another one before the end of the year?
So the plan is to do, after Ghost, 3 more every 6 weeks.
Nice.
And then, you reminded me, I have to book a album release show.
Don't stress out. It's fun. This is fun.
Yeah. I'm very much have one of those brains that like can only focus on one like big thing at a time. So, or maybe this is normal and I just have like super powered friends. But just trying to get the album out, I kind of stepped away a bit from booking, and with taking this break and like just, I don't know, you ever have a hard time starting back up again?
Yeah, like when we were recording back in last year, I did a lot of cover things, but I wasn't doing the full band thing. And now then it was done, and then I finally had the chance. Like when we did Chile F New Year's Eve, the first year, so I've been 22. That was kind of my first foray back, and then we started booking like once every 2 months. And now next year I'm going to be doing a little more solo touring and things like that. And the same will be for you. Like you have the pudding now, and you can show people like, here it is. This is me. This is a good recording of me. And just go do the damn thing,
Yeah, that's the most exciting part. Is for so long I've been booking, just had nothing to send people other than those old recordings.
Right.
From when I was 20 years old with bronchitis. So I can't wait to have this album out, hopefully play some festivals. I'd love to do a little East Coast tour.
That's exciting. Where do you want to go?
Everywhere.
No, give me specifics. Don't be like that. Where do you want to go?
I mean, one of my other biggest goals in life is to just travel the world. So like literally everywhere. But it sucks. I really, really love the Muskrat Flats way of doing like a big weekend tour, going down to Virginia and North Carolina. So that was the initial goal, was just trying to do something like that. But I guess Asheville's kind of starting to build, so it's becoming more of a possibility now. But Colleen is rough. Just thinking about, man, I wonder how music's gonna do down there. Definitely want to, play Asheville. I think I would be good in the scene down there. About to go up to Vermont. I don't have specific venues though, Rob.
That's okay. Just different cities and stuff. Like for example, I know for me, I'm gonna be hitting Providence, and I'm gonna be hitting Boston. I'm going to be hitting New York, upstate New York, and some specific places more in deep PA, things like that. That's what I mean. So I was just curious if you had looked into like certain venues that like Muskrat Flats, who are a jam band that your boyfriend Coop plays in, and they play a lot in Virginia. Like Hambone Relay, the band I used to be in, played those cities a lot. You know, Roanoke, Richmond, Charlottesville, and they're
So you guys
playing a few
do,
other places that I wish we got into. And
did you do Floyd? I love
we did
Floyd.
Floyd. We played a festival there. It's called Front Porch Fest, but it's not like the same as like Philly Porch Fest.
Okay.
It's literally like a giant porch, and that's like the main stage. And they have like 3 or 4 other stages, but like it's small. It's in the middle of a valley, and we played there. And there's no cell reception, and it's a great time. Yeah, look into that.
Yeah.
Anybody who's listening, definitely check out Floyd Fest. Go check out Front Porch Fest in Floyd. What were you
Also Floyd.
referencing? Floyd Fest?
Well, they played Dogtown,
Okay.
and I just fell in love with the town. Coop and I actually, on the way up from our friend's wedding, who is down in Asheville, stopped in Floyd because we wanted to. And we went to Dogtown to eat, and this guy was there with an owl, so that was cool. I hung out with Luna the owl, and like that's why I love Floyd.
It's because Luna the Owl.
Yeah, like that could happen now. You know? When was the last time you ran into a dude with an owl?
That's the only reason you want to do this tour. Is like, I want to hang out with more owls.
Yeah, call it the owl tour. Or the who.
Look, the who? The Maggie Mae, the who?
Let's take a spin.
Hey guys, I'm back. Real quick, real fast. This will take a minute tops. You know what's coming? Every holiday you can possibly imagine. And you know what? We're tired of the same old gifts, and stuff is crazy expensive right now. Let me give you a different option. Support your local musician. Go grab their record. Go grab their t-shirt. I'm wearing one of mine right now. It's the Rob Tait Alt Tee, which you can kind of see. There you go. And we got that. We got the blue tees in there. We got the vinyl for At the End of the World up on robtait.store. And make sure to grab your record if you really feel the spirit of the holiday season. Grab yourself an exclusive vinyl, which is just gorgeous. I highly recommend checking that out. And I got them on me. If you know me personally, I'm out and about in the Philadelphia area, or if you know you're going to see me, I have a record with me wherever. I have a box. I got a box of records with me. Come and hang out. And yeah, anyway, back to the show. Just make sure to grab your Rob Tait tee or vinyl or CD and give it to a friend in need of some music. And hey, also, take a second for yourself and just listen to some music or just go outside. It's gorgeous out lately. We're about to hit winter. You're going to be stuck inside for a few months. Go enjoy yourself. But anyway, back to the show. Exactly. You play into you don't know who I am. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But so okay, you have this album. And I may know this answer, but for anybody who doesn't and who wants to get to know you, who are some of the artists that influence you and this batch of tunes? You've had these forever, right? So what artists or band influence these the most?
I love that you asked that because I really struggle with the question, what do you sound like?
Mm-hmm.
And for this batch of tunes specifically, I have to be like, I don't know, but I can tell you what I was listening to when I wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I think those influences came out. I mean, Martin Sexton is always going to be a huge one. He's like my driving musical force, and Bonnie Raitt as well. When I wrote a lot of these songs, I was listening to a lot of Damien Rice.
Mm-hmm. That's so funny. A lot of these tunes I wouldn't peg for Damien Rice.
Mm-hmm. I was listening to a lot of Damien Rice at the time. A lot of Incubus, a lot of Paramore, a lot of Queens of the Stone Age. Ryan Blue, always close to my heart. A lot more singer-songwriter stuff. Have you ever heard of As Tall as Lions?
No. Who are they?
So hang on, I gotta look this up because I know for anyone who doesn't know me, I have the worst memory of all time. I've watched Coop's Kind of Jealous. I've watched Lord of the Rings. We watch it like once a year, and it's always new to me.
That's kind of nice, though.
It is, honestly. All right, hold on. I might be discovering that everything I thought I knew was wrong.
That's okay. That's a fun part of this podcast. What are you learning?
It was just a band. So when it was introduced to me, it was like one of my buddies in college. I remember introducing it as like the lead singer was in this band, and now Like, it's his other project. It's just a band from Long Island, New York.
Oh well, you can't win them all. What was the name of
But
what was the
they're
name again?
great. I think you would love them. As Tall as Lions.
Tallest Line. I'll write them
Really
down.
depressing, really sad girl music. Yeah, I was listening to a lot of that. I'm also trying to think. I feel like in the process of, like, obviously not when I was making the writing the songs, but when I was making the album, also really started loving like Emily King, Sammy Ray, Moonchild. So trying to kind of somehow take these songs that were written at a time when I wasn't listening to any of that and use this new stuff that I was really vibing with into that, which sometimes works, sometimes didn't.
That's the fun of it. That's the fun of like putting this random stuff together just to see if it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that for you. And I know that there are a few interesting like tempo and time changes in the new batch of tunes. And I know that people really like that. And I think it's going to be just really interesting to watch and to follow. If you had to, this will be fun. If you had to, what emojis would you use to describe them?
Let me whip out my emojis.
So let me get my emoji keyboard
And
real quick. Let me see.
list order. So each one has to have an emoji.
Not each one. Just like if you had to pick three, I would probably do crystal ball, the fire, and for your record, crystal ball, the fire, and maybe I'll either do a clock or I'll do fuck it, the clock, because you have a song that's about clocks in this batch.
And clockwork.
And the time changes.
Oh.
Oh.
I think I would do fire.
Okay.
Party thing.
Party thing.
Like the megaphone.
Yeah.
When you type in birthday, it comes up, and the dancing chick with the red dress.
There you go. That's great. Oh my gosh. So Ghost comes out on the 30th of October. When's the next single released, did you say?
So I believe 6 weeks from then. I mean, we'll see how strictly I feel like doing it, but 6 weeks from then will be December 11th. So I think sometime early December will be next single.
That's awesome. Where can people find out more about you? Is there a website you can send people to?
Yes, so if you just go to MaggieMaeMusic.com. Also, I tend to just really be on Instagram a lot, more often than anything else. So, and I also, if people are digging me, I have a newsletter, and I tend to do like sneak peeks and first alerts, whatever, to the newsletter. And everyone who pitched in for the album on Indiegogo, they find out about everything first.
Hey, awesome. And then, of course, you'll let everybody know when the record release will be. I'm sure next year you'll let everybody know.
I'm kind of thinking like I might push it into April just because that's my birthday month and that's in stone.
That'll be a lot of fun. Well, congratulations, Maggie. That's the best. No problem. Thank you for hopping on the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Rob.
Of course, buddy. I'll see you next time.
Let's take a spin.
Hey, Coop, get back in there. Get back in there. Let me see the kitty. Let me see the kitty. Hi. You're being recorded. He doesn't know. He can't hear me.